I didn't know what an MBA was. I was literally Googling business, what can I do? Started asking around.
Please help.
Yeah, please. There was no ChatGPT then, so I was still
please
Googling.
help.
Yeah.
Welcome to Fika's Focus. Voices leading change.
All right, we're live here with the legend, the man himself, Brook Carrington from Livingstone. Bro, first off, it's awesome to have you on. Got to know you when we were building Livingstone Drive. You always came across as a very, very pono fella, a lot of whakapono about you, easy to get on with, and what was a pretty testing time of building to construction, far out. And obviously there's a tie there with Livies and things, but yeah, bro, it's nice to sit in this space now and have a kooreroa. So welcome.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Let's launch in. I mean, it's cool. I've been seeing your stuff on LinkedIn and you know, you've come through a cool journey, but let's start back. Nō hea koe, bro, where are you from? And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, bro, so grew up in Te Awamutu. My mother's side of the whānau is all still from there and always been from there. Dad's side of the family, my nan, she's from Paeroa. My koro's from Gisborne, so whakapapa on my Māori side comes from there. Went to school, Te Awamutu, went to Hamilton Boys, played lots of sport, played rugby, sprinting, so I was pretty active. Didn't last all of school, so started working with Livingstone's, I think I was 15.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, so I've been with them ever since. I'm now 38, so you can do the maths. But yeah, bro, what else? Met my wife. Well, we've been together since I was 19. So yeah, got 3 children. My eldest boy is 16, next boy is 14, my daughter's 6. So a bit of a gap on that last one.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, that's me.
And Te Awamutu, bro, far out. Yeah, I played my first senior footy game for Te Awamutu Sports, and I was part of that. We won the 21s comp, Joe Tapu. Yeah. And you know, Zion and them, bro, it's like, I've got obviously in Courtney's whānau from there, so it's a good spot to grow up. Reminds me of like Tokoroa, you know, that sort of small country feel, and kind of everyone knew everyone, but a cool place to grow up, eh?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, most of my close friends all still over that way, so go back plenty.
The Livy Boys, you know, you've been there a long time. I mean, I've been lucky enough to meet David and Mike, probably more so David though, but you know, good country people. Hey, just straight up and down, handshake people. Such a good environment to learn in, eh? Yeah,
bro. Yeah, high integrity people. Do what they say they're going to do. You see them around and they've always got the time of day for everyone, eh? So high value people.
It's had an impact on me as well as, you know, growing up Tokoroa, being around people like that, and then Courtney's old mans like that, you know. With David and Mike, what are some of the lessons there that you carry in or really push across when you're now dealing with people?
I think from back and being on site days, you know, you pick up little things, but I would always pick up that they would come on site, go around all of the boys on site, say hello, ask what they're up to, you know, take the time, and you'd always make sure you were busy, you know, when they come on site. But before they left, I'd do the same, go back and say goodbye to everyone. So just really little politeness things, I think, eh? So just how you hold yourself, that's how what carries through.
It's an accumulation of energy into people. I think it really matters. You do feel like you're important, you know, especially when I felt with meeting David. Yeah, you do feel like right now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
Not like a hurried, rushed.
Yeah, and considering such busy people too, eh?
Exactly.
Doing so much.
Yeah, busy in projects, but not busy in mind. Busy in terms of like, I need to rush you on, or that's what I mean. You know, it's Because we're losing a lot of that these days.
Yeah.
People are like on a rush to, you're meeting with them, but they're in a rush to get to the next thing already.
Yeah. Yeah, attention spans and just always somewhere to be. I guess technology and calendars and all the things we're trying to do in life, right? It's easy to be distracted and not slow down and just be where your feet are, eh?
I think that's going to be the real marker of quality leadership in the future, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it can be applied. Your father, I'm father, so that can be applied in so many ways. Just being where your feet are. It's trying to understand and dig in and say, oh, my kids are right here. I don't need to worry about what's going on next. And then when I'm where I'm next, worrying about the kids.
Yeah, not easy though, is it? You've got to bring yourself back into that space constantly, because even somewhat high achievers, you're always just thinking. There's lots of things processing. So, however you find a way to bring yourself back to where you need to be.
What does it look like consciously though, as a leader? Do you think? How do we stay tutu and keeping our feet feeling where we are? What's a strategy for that?
I guess if you go back, you probably need to do a bit of deep work and really understand yourself. You need to have your alignment. You need to know what's important to you, what your values are. I guess that will help you stand where you need to stand, so that's probably a deeper part. I guess more strategies is you just need to stop, eh? So I think for me, I try and schedule some thinking time once a week. I normally do it down by the beach here in Papamoa, and I tell a few of my close mates as you get further into a relationship about thinking time, and they say, what do you do there? What are you going to go and think about? It's just like, well, whatever comes up, do some reflection, do some goal setting, check in on what you're doing, or even nothing if you want.
The privilege of being able to stop and think is one I think that's lost to a lot of people. I've literally just come from catch up with a mate of mine who was going through, and we're talking through the privilege of time to think. I almost detest the badge of busyness, and people tell me, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm busy. You're like, oh, okay. Is it okay for me to say I'm not busy? And when we talk about, I love that scheduling time to think. It's a key part of my day. Even this morning, I've been up very, very early, wandering around the streets. Not in a bad way, walking around, but thinking about what the world can be and the possibilities and where I stand in that space, what that feature looks like, to be able to digest what's going on internally and actually build outcomes out of it, or tangible outcomes. But having that time to think, and I think our tupuna used to spend a lot of time in that space. It's what probably stands out to me in some of my reconnection in Māori spaces. Is
It's interesting.
Having that chance to just stop and think.
Oh, but life's just so busy, eh? In all of the areas of life. Our work isn't getting any less busy. If anything, is getting busier. I think technology and things are meant to make us more efficient, but we're just getting busier and busier. So we need to get control of that. Obviously, kids outside of work and whānau, and then time for yourself to fit in your training and things, friends. So it's just there's lots, and then distraction on top of that, eh? So huge amount of distraction now with social media and what you think you should be doing, what you think your life should be like.
It's a lot of noise.
Hence the thinking time, eh?
Where did the thinking time principle come from? Did you see
Kieran,
it modeled?
Kieran, our CEO. So in our SLT, not long since he'd been in the role, he just put it mandatory amongst all the SLT to put an hour in your day, wherever it needs to be. Stop, think, take technology, just piece of paper, or I use a notebook. But I've heard it across other similar, other leaders that they have a ritual around whether it just be cafe, coffee at 7:30, 3 or 4 days a week.
Yep.
Just to ground anchor what I'm up to, what's my priorities, how do I need to be in this space, what do I need to do, or what less, I need to actually do less as well.
It's pretty, I mean, obviously you get to work directly with Kieran. He's someone I've found, even as from the short interactions I've had with him, another person who holds space and time for you.
Yep.
It's a pretty powerful practice.
Yes. Yeah, he does that very well. He's been a great mentor, to be fair, the last couple of years for me, just checking in on things.
As a mandatory practice too is brave.
Yeah, and you can, when you're right in the heat of the battle and life is very busy, you stop there and you think, I've got to start doing some thinking time. It's like, well, this is not the best use of my time. I've got all these fires to put out. I've got all this to do. But that's why I scheduled it on the weekend, because during the week things do come up. You've got to be somewhere, you're maybe travelling or meetings, or even just to compartmentalise your focus, So Monday to Friday is that's where we are, where we need to do our work. So having it on a Saturday or Sunday morning for me works best. I've been able to stick with it. On the weekday it was very hard, phone would ring, or you can't quite move your brain away.
How do we get it then back to being in the week? What would be an action you'd have to take to get it to being in the week?
I guess you've just got to have the power of saying no and controlling your time. You've got to be able to be disciplined and just say, no, this is what I need to be effective. That's a non-negotiable practice. But yeah, I guess it's just hard depending on your role, eh? Not everyone is fortunate to have control over their calendar, so you can't. I mean, get up early.
Yeah, and that's you must have read my mind.
Get up early.
Because I think as a practice, and early is relative. Like if you're waking up at 7, and I ask you to wake up at 6:45.
Yeah.
That's relative, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying. And that's the thing. I wake up early. Okay, so now I need to be up at 4 in the morning. No.
Yeah.
It's just got to be relative. If you wake up at 7, generally, naturally, just put on an alarm for
a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Like the cost benefit of a practice such as that, especially when you've got children. I love my babies, but it's also the time for me to digest. I do the digestion at that point when they're fast asleep. So I'm not digesting later on in the day. Or ruminating over things. And I found the effectiveness of being present in both realms, being present with myself and being present with my kids or Courtney, is a very powerful practice. More so than what I do in the day for future focus or whatever it is. It's actually quite, I watch this, there's a podcast, I keep referring to it for some reason, but Lex Friedman and Jeff Bezos, and Jeff Bezos literally says, I don't go into work until 10 and I only make all my big decisions before lunch.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And Warren Buffett says the higher you go, you should be making less and less decisions. And they asked him, well, how many big decisions do you make? And he said, 5 or 6. And they said, oh yeah. And he goes, a year. They're like,
but high risk decisions.
Yes. Yeah. But unless you don't have the beauty or the opportunity to think and ruminate. Because if you're making high level decisions all the time without the ability to ruminate on what the decision and the impact's going to be, knowing there's always going to be consequences no matter what. Just which consequences are we willing to put up with? And construction's a real interesting one of those factors. If you're looking at a project, decisions I'm making around personnel, execution, timing, resource.
You've got to keep it moving. So
because the client's not going to be wondering, hey, am I paying you for an hour?
So you learn to weigh up pros and cons, make a call, move forward
Yeah.
very quickly.
That decision-making matrix you carry over the years would have been honed massively.
Yeah. I guess it comes years and years of accumulation that it just becomes natural. You know how to find that pathway forward, what the outcome needs to be. I guess you got your sounding boards too, eh? So there's people around you, and then the hierarchy in the business too, depending on what that decision is that you can just challenge yourself. But generally, those first gut instincts decisions is normally about right.
Yeah. What's the test? What's the beta? What's the test situation for seeing how well you do make decisions under pressure? How do we, as a leader who's obviously doing great things in communities, bro, like, talk to me about that for the beta version of testing your decision-making abilities under pressure without, lowering almost the cost of such a decision. How do we test that and know that we're on the right track?
I guess it's just about keeping yourself grounded, keeping that heart rate in control. You're just weighing up those different scenarios. I think, like I said before, bounce if you need to bounce. You've got to make that decision, so make a decision, lean in. I mean, if you need to change it, you can change it, but it's still better to make a decision to move forward, right?
Yeah, and I think the challenge always when getting to decisions is people feeling like they've got to stick with the decision when without weighing up everything that's coming at them.
Yeah. There's responsibility and ownership in that, right? You think, well, I made the call, we need to see it through. Well, not necessarily if it's not the right call, eh?
Ownership on the decision is an important factor. I've made the decision, I live with the decision, and what flows from it is important.
Yeah.
How do we grow people in that ability to accept that I've made the decision and all that comes with it?
Yeah, I guess that's a trait of leadership, isn't it? With just being accountable and owning that decision. So, I'm not sure. I think I guess it's just back to life experiences. I think team sports is a big part. For me, having come through the trades and spending lots of time on site in the elements and just being put under a bit of pressure, So, I think it's just going through those stages of life.
And we hope that as we go up the chain or whatever it is we're looking at, if we're talking about a metaphorical chain or some sort of progression and growth of responsibility, that our decision-making abilities get quicker, more efficient and effective. But when it comes to, considering Dr. Benjamin Hardy's work in 10x is easier than 2x, he talks to the factors of, well, hang on, if I just take everything from past into my decision-making abilities, actually, it's not going to be able to prepare me for what's potentially coming, especially in a changing world. And his whakaaro was like, well, no, the present absolutely determines the past through the framing and filter of what we see things. When we're working with young people who might be the next Brook Carrington coming through, how do we facilitate a situation where they can, yes, certainly use their past, but create more opportunity for them to see themselves in the future and then work backwards? How do we help young people with that?
Yeah, it's a tough one, because I guess you probably don't know, right? You just, if you go back to when you are young, I think about my journey, having gone straight out of school and into the workforce. Quite quickly you're hopping on that treadmill, so you're buying things in cars and whatever else, and then babies come along, so cost on income and things accumulate. So for me, it was just a constant run. It wasn't up until as soon as I started did an MBA through Waikato Uni, that the papers that they teach you force you to stop and really look inward, and quite uncomfortable to do, especially when you just think you've been on a trajectory for so long and you think that trajectory is the right trajectory and there's no right or wrong, but you know, you're not stopping and understanding yourself, you know, thinking. So
because you've been on the treadmill of it for a long time, right? But the progress fuels the treadmill, right?
Yep. Yeah, well, I guess so. Yeah, unconsciously or subconsciously it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, because if you're 15 and you're doing something, and then you're 25 and doing the same thing. Yeah. Do you have an inflection where you're like,
yeah.
I don't want to be. So even though you've got to 35 and progressed, you haven't had a chance to stop, because at 25 from 15 you've gone, hang on, this isn't for me anymore. You know, the inflection point's happened. You've stopped. I remember getting to the principalship role young, 26. This is it. And then 27 going, fuck, I hate this job. I actually remember coming home, Cordy had cooked some kai, it was on the table, it was 11 o'clock at night, it was cold. Me looking at that, thinking, I'm doing exactly what my mum and dad did. They were just ships in the night. They just, it was never, you know, I was like, what am I doing?
How did I get here?
I've arrived where I told myself I wouldn't get to. And then at that point I remember saying, I fucking hate this job. I do not like this job. So the inflection point from getting off or being on the same treadmill at the same speed could have come earlier in spaces. Isn't that
but I guess
an irony?
You probably reflect on those times as big learnings. Right? So,
and courageous. It is courageous.
You wouldn't take them back because of the learnings and who you are at the back of that.
No. The courage to walk away from something is a really important factor, I think, in a lot of people, especially when people in your ear saying, oh, but you could be. Which comes back to doing some of that deep work, I guess, and understanding what is important to you. Not just because. But it is these conversations, bro. You know, this is the first time you and I haven't had conversations about these sorts of things. I think it's you can have one conversation like this, it could really drive I'm jumping off the treadmill now on a bike. I'm going to get further faster. But it is the privilege of having the ability to stop, and the MBA certainly forces that, because there's a level of thinking required, right?
So I found myself in a regional manager role where I was quickly come up through the construction route and needing to learn about putting together budgets, reading a P&L, you know, strategy. And I thought to myself, shit, I need something here that's going to help me be effective here. I didn't know what an MBA was. I was literally Googling business, what can I do? Started asking around.
Please help.
Please. There was no ChatGPT then, so I was still Googling. And then asking around, and it started to become a trend, you know, some of the leaders in and around the business had popped up, and these three initials pop up, and I'm like, oh shit, what is that? So looked into it, interviewed with the uni, got accepted, got backing of the business supported me through it, and just again leaned in, still on the treadmill at that point. You know? But I guess it gave me what I was looking for in the sense of that business perspective, all the different layers of business. Not as though I would be a specialist in any area of business, but it gives you that full understanding, that perspective. So what it doesn't tell you is that there's a couple of papers you do that is leadership, and you look at them, when you think about leadership, you think about leading, and your mind probably goes to, well, it goes to sports, or it goes to, you know, higher roles at work, but they're not really about leading people, they're about understanding yourself. And so some of those papers are pretty uncomfortable. So you develop a very strong relationship and connection with that cohort that are in a classroom on a Saturday that's beautiful, sunny like this outside, and people are standing up and tears are flooding out, you know, when they're digging down deep into things. So they don't tell you that on the interview.
No, no. But that importance of having those leaders right outside your realms, like in your immediates. But for me, like I remember I built basically my dream board.
Yeah, right.
And there's people like Steve Jobs, Alan Mullally, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
You know, people like that I seek out their wisdom or vision regularly without knowing them physically. I can go and read on their lessons anyway, and look at it how I would apply it, what they potentially would apply it through the lens that I'm trying to run it through and understand the scenario I'm in. And then having people like Courtney's dad, like John, and to ring and call, and as well as a necessary board of development for my own leadership. And it's funny, I think I enjoy being a leader, but I enjoy seeing other people lead also.
Right. Yeah, it's your own personal board of directors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try to encourage people. I remember I worked with our leadership council, and I said, "Who's on your board of directors right now? Do they push you forward, or do they hold you back?
Yeah.
Do they challenge you when you needed it, or are they your echo chamber? Yeah, you're doing a good job, man." And then all of a sudden you realise you're not.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. You need to be held to account.
Because I think our tendencies, when, like you're saying, when you dig into some elements of yourself, you don't like it. Yeah, it's like, that belief's not a great belief.
That's right.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, like Livies are a great company and things like that, but it's in your own personal realms, you're doing a lot of cool stuff as well. You know, with also IFI and Pacific Growth, and they're doing cool things. And so you're in a board capacity there, eh?
Yeah. So I guess that's another powerful part of doing something like an MBA is the network that you develop, right? So being privileged enough to connect with some really cool people around Tauranga. And then from that, you know, you're just connecting with people and opportunities pop up. So through IFI and Pacific Growth, there was an opportunity to hop on that advisory board. So something you look at yourself and you think, shit, I'm not ready or have achieved enough or battle hardened enough to be in a governance space. You know, I always pictured governance around you needed a certain amount of achievement, even age, before you're ready to start giving back. And I was just, you know, you think about all your different areas of life and you think, you know, you got your health and your family and finances, and then you think, well, there's a couple of other parts that you just need to use as well. And you think about legacy and community and starting to give back, you know. And I thought, what an opportunity to get out of, you know, I've talked about thinking time, we've talked about the self and all those things, which is all good stuff, but also getting out of that and putting yourself towards something a bit more community focused, I think is very important, eh? So I think it's something I don't think it's something I'm looking to just add as another sort of pillar in life that's just aligning and balancing. So I'm doing, you know, I think there's a huge amount of Pacific businesses here in Tauranga, and I thought, well, how can I support? And I thought, shit, if I can provide any advice around pre-qualification or pathways, or how you might, some of those smaller medium enterprises get some contracts, whether in vertical or horizontal construction, then that would probably be a good value add to that advisory board, eh? So
I think service is always a value add, right? I mean, I think that's certainly something I pick up from you since I've known you. I mean, service, nothing was ever too hard. If I rang, you know, you meet those people without taking advantage of those people too. But not that I think you'd be taken advantage of easy, but in service like that situation alone there, it does give us insight into other realms where we can place our skill set, decision making, exactly what we just talked about, into a different zone of challenge, and generating outcomes for greater outcomes or greater probability of higher outcomes for larger groups or larger sets of people outside our current zone of influence is quite an important factor.
So early days obviously on the journey, but really looking forward to being able to add value and continue that learning journey. You're surrounded by some pretty cool people with some pretty cool experience and different perspectives, so especially me being in that in construction, obviously construction and development for all my career, so very keen just to continue to open that perspective up.
And Tauranga Chamber?
Yes, saw the nominations come up for Business Chamber Board for the board, and why not? Have a go.
I love it. There you go.
So,
why not?
But again, keen to open up that governance learning, hop on that learning journey, build that network further. You're going to be in there and developing that network, so got to be nominated first. But
I'm sure a few of us are going to
do a ring around to those members of the chamber to chuck in a vote.
But the advocacy space that you're doing in there for businesses is important. Businesses need advocates. Right? We're the ones putting our kahunas on the line, but also we're generating value in communities. And I think been living here now over 13, 14 years, and like you, just love the place. I'm in the ocean every weekend and just want to see this place be better. So if I can add value and spend some of my time to help and contribute towards that in any way, then I'm all for it. Bro, I think the grounding is certainly there. Obviously we've got an affiliation with Livy's. John's association with Livingstone Construction goes
way back,
decades. What I've always admired is the handshake approach. Courtney's granddad, same scenario, like just such a gentleman. You kind of hope to be half the man that they were, and you'd be doing extremely well. But for your own journey, under the tutelage of the Livy boys, now Kieran, having you come out into being a pillar or pole of the community in that space, I think is only good, if not great, for the Tauranga community. We love this place, right? This is the most beautiful place in the world.
Oh yeah, bro. Agree. Oh yeah, and on behalf of Livingstone Building, if I can stand there as a business leader and represent that brand, and that's powerful as well for me.
Well, brother, we appreciate the conversation. I really look forward to seeing that. Where can we? I mean, LinkedIn obviously is a good spot to be finding some kaupapa that you're talking to there. Anywhere else?
Just LinkedIn. To be fair, I'm not across other social media channels.
No, neither. Neither.
So LinkedIn.
LinkedIn's a good spot, I think, and there's things there, and obviously we'll be looking out for some of the advocacy for the Tauranga Chamber stuff. I think you'll certainly be getting a few of the boys' votes in that space. But bro, we appreciate the korero, appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me, bro. Awesome.
Up the waz.
That's it.
Shot, brother. Thank you. Wicked.